Good morning, Memawachi, Ojeko, Dasuba, Otutuoma, Ekaro. Many greetings to you all. So today I'm just going to do a video and talk about tribalism in Africa. So prior to my Thursday podcast, I talked about beauty standards in Africa. So today I'm going to talk about tribalism, and then this coming Thursday, I'm going to talk about Africa development, how Africa can be developed, and transforming the mind as well. So here is the third. This is the fourth podcast, pretty much. This is the fourth podcast, and thank you very much for those who have been supporting, those who have been sharing the videos, and letting the message go out. And thank you for partnering with me when it comes with transforming the African mind. And it is my hope, and as so fast as I have the strength, the ability, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make sure that this podcast, transform African mindsets, change the way African view himself, and whatever our creator have given us, the wisdom and the ability have given us to make a change in our African countries, in African, motherland, irrespective of our motherland, we'll be able to do change, and then we'll be able to love one another, support one another, ride with each other, and then, we will serve each other because we love the African continent. So welcome to my podcast, and my name is Reggie Kwabena, Deschamps-Mills, and welcome to my podcast. So today I'm going to talk about tribalism in Africa, intertribal marriage conflicts, and anything that has to do with the weaponization of tribe issues. So that's what I'm going to talk about. So I want to say this, that people should know that we have truth and we have stereotype. So people say do not generalize. Like, do not put everybody in the same box. Everybody, irrespective of our tribe, yes, we all have our differences. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not somebody who's tribalistic. I'm not somebody who play that game of accusing somebody because somebody's from here. That's how they all behave. I'm not somebody who believes in that. But are there some traits? Are there certain things that person from that tribe shows, exhibits? Yes. I don't want to mention any tribe name, but you all know. You all can, especially if you're from Africa, you know that somebody from a certain tribe behaves a certain way. And I'll tell you that I'm not saying all members of the tribe are the same, but sometimes it is how the tribal people are. And so that's why the person behaves. And I'll tell you, there can be somebody from an African tribe, he doesn't act to behave none like how their tribe behave, So, okay, let me just make this more reasonable and practical. You might find somebody who's a Hausa or Fulani, but you ask the person, are you really from that tribe? Because the person doesn't behave like somebody from that tribe. You cannot find that trait in them, And you might doubt whether the person is really from that tribe. So I want to say this. I love everybody. No matter your ethnicity, no matter the tribe you come from in Africa, I love everybody equally. We are all Africans. We all have the same blood flowing through us. We are all black people. We are all melanated people. When it comes to my Africans, I don't pick and choose. So before I even go into this, topic, I want to, give you some glimpse of myself a little bit introduction about who I am, and then we can talk about today's topic. So, I already mentioned my name. I'm not going to mention again. I am a Ghanaian Sierra Leonean. I am a Ghanaian Sierra Leonean. My next podcast, I'm going to talk about Africa development. So you see me on my next podcast wearing a Sierra Leone jersey, and then the next week Monday you see me wearing a Ghanaian jersey, which I'm talking about patriotism and all that stuff. So um, because of my podcast, I can't be wearing Ghana and Sierra Leone jersey at the same time. But I'll take turns though. I'll take turns. One day you see me wearing Ghana jersey. Sometimes you see me wearing Sierra Leone jersey. I want to tell you that I'm embracing both sides. If this podcast could make me do some turns, you see me some parts wearing Ghana jersey, Sierra Leone jersey all together. But this podcast, it doesn't work like that. So sometimes the outfit I have to wear for my podcast, based on the topic, I have to know what type of clothes I have to wear based on the subject. So today I choose to dress this way because I'm talking about an African issue, and I cannot take one particular African country clothing to wear, because I want you to make you understand that I represent the whole of Africa, even though I have where I come from exactly. So let's go into details. So as I said, I am a Ghanaian Sierra Leonean. My mom is a full-blood Ghanaian. My dad is Ghanaian and Sierra Leonean. So my dad's paternal great-grandfather is from Sierra Leone. He's from Limba area, the Limba tribe in Sierra Leone. So on my dad's side, my paternal great-great-grandfather I share ancestry with was a merchant from Sierra Leone. He was a very well-known person, well-learned. So Ghana became his final destination. And when he came to Ghana, he intermarried in he intermarried in my dad's side of it. So my dad's paternal bloodline. So tracing from my dad's fathers and the male line. Henceforth, the Sierra Leone lineage right there. So my Sierra Leone forefather married into a Ghanaian family. So that's an hard case. So that's how the bloodline, generations passed down to me. So I am a product of Ghana and Sierra Leone. And in Africa, we all have tribes to come from. But that's why, I'll tell you this. I am from a very diverse African background, So sometimes it can be challenging to know where you belong. But at the same time, too, I know where I belong. It's not challenging for me to navigate who my people are. So on my mom's side of the family, my mom is Achimkwewu. So these two tribes, Achimkwewu is in the eastern region. So, as usual. So in a kind ethnicity, because they do inheritance stuff, lineage-wise, so we have a system called matrilineal system. So my mom, in the sense of in the Ghanaian culture, I relate more to my mom's side of the family because they have a belief system in my mom's tribe that any person who's from the Afrikan tribe, and Afrikan we have 8 subgroups. We have Ashantis, Ahanta, Fanti, Wasa, a whole lot. Nzima and all those, Equiapem, Kwewu. We have the Trifo people, Sefi, a lot of ethnic group that makes the Afrikan ethnic groups. And also, for the Afrikan people, you cannot find Afrikan people only in Ghana. You can find some in Ivory Coast. So in Ivory Coast, we have the Baole, we have Nzima, we have Bron, we have the Ngbato, we have the Baole, we have the Anyini, we have a lot of, so apart from, I would say, one of the largest tribes in Ivory Coast, Afrikan also are one. So as I said, in the sense of my mom's side of the family, where she come from, in her tribe and in her culture, when they're talking about who is my real family or who I share deep blood lineage with, they'll rather consider my mom's side of the family, because my mom comes from a tribe who practice matrilineal inheritance. So on my dad's side of the family, my dad is Ghanaian, Leonean. So my dad also have a dose of Ghana. He has a hunter in Wassa. And then he has another side of the family, which is another African country, which is Sierra Leone, and a tribe called Limba. So yes, so my dad is a hunter Wassa, and my mom is Achim Kwewu. But at some points, my family is so huge that pure the late 1800, my dad's side of the family left where they originally came from and settled in the Eastern region area, which is the Kwewu area. So I will say this, because my dad grandparents have lived in the Kwewu area and Eastern region for so long, now they have intermingled, and then it's like now they have become part of those Kwewu people in the Eastern region. But at some point, it's kind of my dad's side of the family they are finding it difficult, because when they settle a place, when they settle in a different place, which is not their native land for so many years, it's kind of they have identity issues. But for me, as I know history and I know I've done enough research and learned stuff, I don't struggle with that. So my dad's side of the family, yes, they'll find it difficult to know what tribe in Ghana they want to associate with, because they have lived in a land of the Eastern region and among a tribal people known as Kwewu for that long, so they kind of want to, vibe with them. But as I said earlier, my dad Ghana side is Ahanta and Wassa. So in Ahanta, we come from a place known as Buzuya. And Wassa, we come from Wassa Memfi. And on my mom's side of the family, the Ghana side, my mom's side, actually we come from Kotoku. And my dad and my mom other Ghana side, which is Kwewu, it is from Abitifin, all in the Eastern region. So my dad also has another side, which is Sierra Leone. And in Sierra Leone, it traces back to the Limba tribe and northern part of Sierra Leone. So that's all you should know. Now back to my topic, tribalism. In my opinion, you can have issue with a group of people, that's fine. But it shouldn't extend to discrimination, hatred, banter, not getting along with people. Everybody has problem with specific people, and that's fine. In this life, it's not everybody who can get along with everybody. But it should not reach the point where it extends to hatred or discrimination, no. Because in this life, it is what it is. It's not everybody who can like everybody. But that doesn't, because I don't like somebody, doesn't mean it should extend to hatred. So there's a difference between not liking somebody and hatred. I'll explain this. Not liking somebody, what I mean by that is, you don't like the person's behavior that he exhibits. Hatred is when you hate somebody with passion, beyond what a person did to you. Like you hate that person. Like sometimes you find unnecessary reason to hate that person. That's hatred. There's a difference between not liking somebody and hatred. Okay. So tribalism, I will say this. Most of it is an inner conflict stuff. Sometimes I've realized through my studies, historical lens, I would say that when we were colonized by the Europeans, especially in other African countries, I mean, tribalism is an African pandemic issue. It's all over Africa. So African countries who were colonized by the French, Portuguese, and other European colonial people, sometimes because of due to the slavery and the colonialism, we have some tribe people who were working in the favor. We have other tribe people who were working in the favor of the Europeans. And I don't want, as I said, tribalism is a nasty thing. I don't want to go back and forth. But I don't want people to feel like I'm tagging one tribe or I'm using another tribe against the other. I'm here to spread love and unity. But history is history. History, we cannot choose side. We have, when it comes to history, we have to say the truth. In Ghana, I don't know how authentic is that history, but we have been told that there were people who were fighting against the Ashanti people in Ghana, and the British were using other African against each other. During those days, when you talk about African kingdoms, and in Ghana, we talk about one of the biggest kingdom, number one is Ashanti Kingdom. But many people don't know that before Ashanti Kingdom, we had other kingdoms who were strong. So we have the Dagbon Kingdom, the Mamprugu Kingdom, and apart from beyond Ghana, we have the Dahomey Kingdom. Dahomey is in Benin. Then we have Zulu Kingdom, many different African kingdoms, Oyo Kingdom in Nigeria. So different kingdoms in Africa. As for the kingdom, I know a little bit, but I'm doing some studies, and my podcast is based on transforming of African mind. But I have some parts I'll talk about history stuff. So we will come when it comes to the historical stuff, I'll come to that. But right now, let us focus on the subject we are focusing today. So tribalism, as I said, has historical, you can see it through historical lens. Some family, it has to do with family. I'll tell you this. I'm not saying my family is perfect, but every family, there's a chaos, they has to do chaos. But I'll tell you this, the family I come from, we love diversity, we embrace diversity. As I said earlier in my podcast, my mom's side of the family, even though it is, we are like culturally, bloodline, we are rooted, I won't use the word pure, but if you talk about like really, really Ghanaian, heavy dose of a Ghanaian, my mom's side of the family find that there. And I'll tell you this, even though my mom has a tribe she comes from, some of my mom's great-greats, grandparents, forebears intermarry with other tribal people. Understand? Even different Akan people. And I'll tell you this, one of my cousin is in the US here. He's an Akan, Achim Kwewu, but he's married to a woman from the Gadambi tribe. And even, back in Africa, we have what we call polygamy, people having multiple wives and all that stuff. And my mom's grandfather, second wife, happened to come from the Volta region. So I do have family in the Volta region, which was through marriage. So, like I said, my family is very diverse. We intermingled a lot. So here comes intertribal marriages, and here comes the lineage we are particularly from. Same as my dad's side of the family too. We get along with everybody. I have ancestors who, on my dad's side of the family, who one of my grandparents have married a woman from the northern part of Ghana, and we get along with everybody. So, as I said earlier, I'm an African first, and then I'm a Ghanaian Sierra Leonean. And then my tribe, I am Achim Kwewu, Ahanta, Wasa, and Limba. That's who I am. And I'm proud of who I am, and I'll never change it for anything else. I'll continue to embrace my identity as an African, my nationality, and my tribe as well. I'll continue to embrace it. That's what makes me who I am. That's what makes me who I am, and my uniqueness. That's what is part of it. So I want to say this. Tribalism shouldn't extend to favoritism, discrimination. And as I said, not liking somebody should be based on a person's character, but not on a tribe, not on somebody's tribe, based on somebody's tribe. No. Now, let's come to intertribal marriages. We are in 21st century, and even in the history of humanity, we all have intermingled somewhere. As I said, I told somebody, there's nothing we call pure Ghanaian. That's why, as I said earlier, I'll never use the word pure. There's nothing as pure because we are all hybrid. We are all have braid. Like when you talk about braid, we are braid. Yes, we are Africans, we are dark skinned, but trust me, we have intermarried with other tribal people, irrespective of what African country you come from. You can claim you're Nigerian, Yoruba, Igbo, but trust me, one of your forefathers have, intermingled with a northern person. So please, tribalism is wrong and it should be condoned. We should fight against it. Same in Ghana. Those from the southern part of Ghana, some of you don't like, some of you, I won't say like, some of you have hatred for people from the northern part of Ghana because of what you have been told, brainwashed. So I want to tell you that if you're from the southern part of Ghana, an Afrikan, a Ghana or whatever tribe in the southern part of Ghana, and you hate somebody from the northern part, understand that because you don't know your history, it will surprise you that some of your forefathers married somebody from the north. So this tribalism issue that has to do with marriage, I'll tell you this. Some of them is a personal family problem. And they cannot let it slide. They cannot, some of them too, I'll tell you this. This intertribal conflict in marriage, because a person from a tribe and he has to hear that person is, sometimes too, the person marrying from a different tribe in Africa, maybe the person went through a lot. It could be abuse. It could be somebody was taken advantage of. Somebody did something that caused damage in the family, so they'll say no. There's that part. And there's a part that is really, really hatred, that they cannot stand a person from a tribe. And when they see their daughter or son with that person from that tribe, it's either they'll cause chaos or it will be crazy. Unless, authorities stepped in or somebody does something about it. Now I want to say this. I love Africa. I love my nationality. I love the tribe I come from. But I want to tell you this. Before we're even Ghanaians, Nigerians, or whatever nationality we claim in Africa, we're Africans first. We had kingdoms. And it will surprise you that some African kingdoms, like, let me make this example. You might come from South Africa, Lesotho, Eswatini. And trust me, you might have a tribe in South Africa, which kingdom extend, like it was a very big kingdom that even extends to some parts of Lesotho, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and all that stuff. It's possible. In Ghana too, we have some tribe who are the kingdom. I'll tell you this, Ashanti Kingdom is one. Ashanti Kingdom extends from Ghana far to Ivory Coast, some parts of Togo. And we had Dahomey Kingdom. Dahomey Kingdom extends far from Ghana. Okay, let me start this. Dahomey Kingdom. So it stretches from Benin Republic, including some part of Ghana, including some part of Togo, including, it extends to many parts of some African countries. That's how Dahomey Kingdom is. And there's a tribe in Nigeria known as Edo, Bini people. And I'll tell you this, Benin Kingdom can extend far from Nigeria and to some part of eastern Ghana. And we have a tribe also in Nigeria known as Akwa Ibom. Akwa Ibom, the Efik people. It was, last time I told you that the Efik people and a tribe known as, in Ghana, known as the Anakai people there, but they are known as Fanti. Them and the Fanti, I'll tell you this. If we were to talk about genealogy, I'll say they are cousins. And I'll tell you why. Many people who are Efik or Ibiobo or Akwa Ibom historians can testify that the Akwa Ibom kingdom can extend to some parts of central Ghana. And central Ghana, I'm talking about the central region in Ghana, a group of people known as the Fanti. Now, as I said earlier, the name Asian, you can find that in Ghana, you can find that in Nigeria. And there's a name called Odum. But you might not find a lot of Akwa Ibom people known by the name Odum. Now you can find people who are called Odum in Akwa Ibom and same Odum in among the Fanti people. Like there are some fancy names, you can find it among the Ifik in Nigeria people. So I would say they are cousins. And even there's a tribe known as Gadangbe. I'll tell you this, them and Yoruba people, they are like cousins. Mannerism. And I find it interesting. So in Ghana, we say Ba Sumomi. Ba Sumomi. That means, to like or fall in love with a person in Ghana. But a Yoruba person will say Sumomi. You see? Like a Yoruba will say Ade. Ade, if I don't speak Yoruba very well, I think Ade means crown or something like that. If you're Yoruba, correct me if I'm right. Ade. In Ghana, Ade also means something different. So I'll tell you this, we are all one people in Africa. So for me, as a reasonable person and as a person who reason and study a lot, I'll tell you this, all this tribalism and, back and forth hatred is not necessary. Understand? And my advice to other people in other people is that when your brother or sister falls in love with a person from different part of Africa, let us open our mind, let us open our hearts and wish them well. And as I tell you this, sometimes too, the reason why you make such statements is because you think you care too much, fear. But sometimes too, you might think you mean good, but it's rather harm. So as I said, in life, let people experience things. The reason why you are an Igbo person, you don't want your son or daughter marry a Yoruba person is because of the hatred you have. But if you are open your mind and you allow your daughter or son marry into that tribe, and they are treated well and they feel loved, want to be happy. So please, we are in 21st century, and as the world is evolving, we are all as human beings, we are learning and we are becoming civilized. So all this tribalism, generalization, stereotype, hatred, and back and forth banter, discrimination, it will take us nowhere in this 21st century. Let us love everybody. Everybody is special. Everybody was created for a purpose. And irrespective of the tribe you come from, everybody is unique in their own way. And I'll say this, fathers, mothers, and aunties and uncles, let us not look down on a specific tribe. When you see greatness in a tribe, acknowledge it. If you're a South African and you see a Zulu person doing greatness, acknowledge it. If you say a Xhosa person or Venda or, Impendi, other people doing greatness in a tribe, acknowledge it. I'll tell you this, showing love to a different tribe and loving one another as Africans, that does not take anything away from us. And I'll tell you this, in the future, if I have kids and my kids tell me that, Dad, since we are Ghanaian, Sierra Leonean, I want to marry somebody from Nigeria, I want to marry somebody from Kenya, Uganda, South Africa, I will not stop them. They'll have my biggest support. But one thing I advise my child is, forget about where the person is coming from, the tribe. One thing you should study more is the person's character. Do the person love you? Does the person treat you well? Does the person care for you? Does the person who's going to ride with you? If it's a yes, my son or daughter have their blessing. Like as I said, we are in a world where everybody's involving. And I'll tell you this, the reason why many of you have this discrimination mentality towards a tribe is because of many years, some of you had a forefather who was spewing that garbage and nonsense and rubbish, hatred through your family line. So some of you have grown up with that mindset that they are like this, people are like that. But until you intermingle or be around people from a different tribe, you come to realize they are not like that. As I said, we are in 21st century. Some of you said, I've not been with a person from that tribe before. That's why in this century we are, in this age, you can order a book online. When you go online, if you don't know anything, Yoruba people, you can order a book and learn about Yoruba culture. You can order a book and learn about Igbo culture. You can order a book and learn about Fulani culture, Hausa culture. and stop the nonsense generalization discrimination. We are in 21st century. We have to do better as a human being and as an African and as a people of color and as like, you know what I mean, individual. We have to do better. Let us show love and let us forgive each other. Just because a person for a tribe did you bad, overlook it. I'll trust you this. Sometimes the person didn't mean no harm. But let us be good to humanity. Let us be good to one another. You know, let us show love to one another. In this, we will overcome any obstacles. In this, we can build irrespective of our African country. Trust me, if Ghana was united, if Nigeria was united, if Kenya was united, if all African countries were united, and we forget about tribal issues and see everybody as one and we work together, that's part of our development. We'll go far. But I'll tell you this can never be done without our mind being transformed. So this comes my podcast. And to anybody here, you have to understand that I'm speaking out of love. It's not that I'm here to, attack somebody or to point fingers. As I said, I'm not against any tribe in Africa. I love every African people. I hang around. Trust me, my circles, I don't hang around with only Ghanaians. I have friends in Nigeria, I have friends in Kenya. Even I'm in the US here, it's to surprise you. I have friends even in Togo, Burkina Faso. I'll tell you this. In the past, I used to have a platform which I was teaching about African history. And trust me, I'll come to that part too. I posted about unknown tribe in Gabon. But the ironic thing is, the person thought I was from Gabon. So the person posted a video. So people were like, this guy's accent, he's not from Gabon. That's not how a Gabonese person speak. So the admin of that page messaged me like, brother, you are very knowledgeable about Gabon, but I've seen other contents. You're talking about other African people and tribe and history, and everybody's applauding you. So please, let us know where you're from. And I told the person I'm Ghanaian, Leonean. He was like, wow. It's like, have you lived in Gabon? I said, no, I've not lived in Gabon before. But I have friends who are Gabonese that I study with, and I also do my personal research about Gabon. So he was surprised. And trust me, all the Gabonese people, that tribe is not well known. Like, people barely heard about them. All of them came, those who have social media came to my inbox. Bro, we appreciate you. We speak blessing upon you. Like, bro, we have your back. When you come to Gabon and you want to do projects, bro, we are there to support you. And trust me, I did some too about a known tribe called Ukele. It's spelled Ukelle. And I tell you this, people from those tribes, I bet some Nigerians don't know what that tribe is. People from those tribes were messaging, bro, if you want to support you, we are here for you. Like, I'll tell you this, I've never had any negative experience with other African people. You understand? I'll tell you this, I'm not saying this out of favoritism, but my interaction with the other African people is all love, positivity. But at the same time too, I won't say it's perfect, but at some points, there were a few people who were ignorant, So for me personally, I'm not married yet, but if I was to marry, I'm open. I can marry any African country. And the thing is, I don't have problem with culture differences, because every day I'm learning about new culture and I'm open and I'm learning about stuff. And so if my partner happens to come from a different African country, she won't have a problem, because he'll be like, my husband is not from my tribe, but he's more than, I have to give him, my future wife said, listen, I have to give my husband membership to my tribe. So that's how I am. And please, sometimes people might think I'm harsh. I'm not a harsh person. I'm an easygoing person. I love people. And if you see me and you holler at me, let's break bread together. Let's eat a meal. Like, I'm all about positivity, but I'm somebody, I can be good and I can be dangerous. Dangerous in the sense that when it comes to the truth, I don't choose side. If I have to blast, I blast. Fire, I fire. That's how I am. But trust me, I'm a person. I'm not brag, man. I'm the person you can always count on. You can ride with me for sure. So it's all love, man. Support my podcast, and next week, okay, so not next week. This Thursday, I'm gonna do a podcast about Africa developments, and that is the episode 5 of Transforming of the Mind. So I'll be talking about inner conflict. I'll be talking about Togo and all that stuff. So tune in. And then the following, this is Monday, today's Monday. So the next Monday, I'll be talking about kingdom, like monarchy, kings, queens. And my advice will also go out there that we need development, because every time we cannot wait on our government, our president, our kings and queens also can do something. Can team up with the young people who are visionary, who can bring contribution to, their land. So it's all love, man. Please support the podcast. And everybody's welcome here. Do not feel ashamed. Whether you're Nigerian, whatever African country you come from, you're all welcome here. Please come and support the podcast. Show love. And hey, when you come here, please, my advice is to use this. Do not bring any tribal banter here, true shit here. Because if you come here with tribalism issue and insults, I'm going to block you out of my page. So that's a warning I'm giving to you. Peace out.